Hello, Harvey? I'll call you back. Hello, it's me, Andrew Genser. Well, I've done it. I've moved to Hollywood, California. Pause for editing. And things are just going great. I finally got a good draft of Deathblow 2, Deathblow 2. I'm really, really proud of it, but here's the biggest news. Just the other day, I gave the script to some execs at Paramount Pictures. That's right, dropped it off myself.
To be honest, the success of Deathblow went to my head a little bit. Got convinced I was going to make it in the movie business, flew out to LA, and I couldn't find any work. So I reached out to Genser, who tells me he's getting the band back together for Deathblow 2. I jumped at it.
$5, take a picture? $5?
What's your name?
Danny Blink. Danny Blink, take a picture.
Right. You gonna take one too?
Just take a quick
Hold
picture.
on, you take a picture.
It's not my main source of income. This is like an extra thing that I do. It's for the fans.
We write this script together. Tells me, you should fly out to West Virginia. Start scouting some locations for the sequel. Tells me everyone else will be following right behind me after I get things in order. So I fly out here, find some good spots to shoot. And that was 5 years ago. In the meantime, Genser turns around and sells our script to some fucking movie studio. And you know what they turn it into? Avatar.
I'm a very different person than I was during my Deathblow years. I have found two methods that have kept me calm and collected.
In the past 10 years, I've been doing a lot. I've made a lot of changes to my life and my lifestyle. And some people have accepted those changes and some haven't. That's fine. Really, the whole changes began because of Deathblow. In the movie, I was in charge of getting the Bigfoot costume. I know this is airing at a family event and we don't really need to get too into the particulars. There, it turns out, is a whole group of people who wear these costumes all the time. It's become a little more mainstream, at least. Some people are still think it's a fringe thing, a fad, if you will. Basically, it's been in a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies. It's called being a furry.
How did Deathblow change my life? I mean, isn't it obvious? I mean, look at me. Look at where we are right now, okay? We're not in West Hartford, Connecticut anymore. This is Los Angeles, California. This is Hollywood. This is where it all happens, okay? This is where I am right now, okay? I'm not B-listing it. I'm A-plus listing it. A++ listing it right now.
I also have a new career in the internet world. I hope maybe you guys, the crew, can come check out the office and see what we're getting into. It's really exciting.
I guess the biggest change is that I met my wife on that shoot. You know her, of course. Her name is Cinema. That's right. I'm married to my craft, because that's the kind of commitment it takes to make it in Hollywood. But of course, it's not a legally binding marriage, so I can still have sex with my roommates.
I understand that. I do understand that. But listen, you tell QVC if they're not interested, I will take it across the street to the Home Shopping Network, okay? Welcome to maxforcemedia.llc.info. That's our website on the net. You should check us out. We do everything here, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Jiggler. Just bought the domain iChef.net, so you can imagine what we're going to do with that. I'm working with a little startup called Double D's. We're going to totally revolutionize the Dewey Decimal System. Let me think. Got retweeted by Wilmer Valderrama last week, so you can imagine what that's going to do for us. And big thing now is our Knock Knock app. You tell me a knock knock joke, I type in the first line, and then I tell you who's at the door before anyone else knows.
Horses, unicorns, foxes, foxy foxes.
So it's all really exciting. Oh wait, you know what? Foursquare for house pets. That's really how it happens, folks. That's magic. That's a $1,000 idea, but I do that every day. Thanks for visiting. Come back in a year. This place will be twice as big and there'll be a window.
Well, I'm currently training fancy dogs. Kind of in the minor leagues right now, but I'm hoping to eventually make it up to the pro circuit.
Come on. High five. Sit. High five.
And you never know. And you have to start from the bottom, but you win a couple of these competitions. Sky's the limit.
So anyway, I started a website that was called furnation.net. It was pretty popular. We had a nice, strong local community. And then that branched out. We merged with a website called furrierthanyou.com that had a massive national exposure. And then that website actually merged with an international company that's run in Canada and also throughout Europe called just Fur with 3 R's. The way this is going now, really the sky's the limit. There's so many opportunities now online and with all these things going on. We're launching a new line of chew toys.
From now, where do I see myself? 10 years? Well, I suppose me and my wife, Cinema. You remember her from a few seconds ago. We'll have a couple more kids by then. Of course, our first kid, Deathblow, was a bit of a botched abortion. Was never really supposed to survive, but he did. And his existence, if nothing else, proves why we need a pro-choice society.
Well, my cast member and buddy Spencer is finally getting married, and I couldn't be happier for him. I'm ecstatic. As everyone knows, him and Jen are such open-minded, thoughtful people. They've always accepted me for who I am, and I just couldn't be happier for them.
But that's one thing I always admired about Spencer is his discipline and his self-control is something that he's always prided himself on, something which I wish I had a little bit more myself. But it's so hard with all the beautiful women out here in Hollywood.
Spencer and Jen getting married. Not a huge shock to me. I remember the first date. Spencer actually came up to me and said, "Producer, can I go out on this date with this beautiful girl named Jen?" And I said, "Absolutely not, and don't look me in the eye." Then he whispered and he said, "You don't let me go on this date, you son of a and slap you in the face with it." I let him go. Now they're getting married, so happy ending.
Jen, Spencer, you kids are young, you're in love, it's beautiful. I wish you all the best. You two remind me of my first marriage. Don't worry though, you'll get it right the second time through.
And Jen actually reminds me of a movie star. When I think of like Jen, I'm like, oh my God, like is that Jen or is it like Lucy Liu or that girl from Crouching Tiger? Fuck.
Spencer's getting married, and that's fantastic. He's the second of us to get legally hitched, as they say, and actually I'm not surprised. I predicted it. In fact, I have been 100% correct in all of my who will be second predictions.
Honey, everything about you is money. I want to take you to a sunny place.
Anyway, Spencer, Jen, I wish you a lifetime of unconscionable happiness. What is unconscionable?